Hi Jeff, just going to make a little video here of your Polymoog. I've got it all complete, got it working, got it cleaned up for you. As you can see, it looks really good. I cleaned and detailed everything. I'll just give you a quick walk around here and just kind of show you how it looks. There's your back panel. And of course you have serial number 702. So I can get my camera to zoom there. There we go. You have serial number 702, which is actually newer than the first Polymoog I owned of this model, which actually this model here brings back a lot of memories for me, because this was where all my restorations started. This was like the first Polymoog I had before I got into the 203As and stuff. And so this is a good, brought back a lot of fun memories for me when I was redoing this one for you. But anyways, what you had going on, I'll just kind of give you a review for anybody else that's watching this video that might be interested. When I got this Polymoog in, it was dead. I mean, it did not do anything. I turned it on and I'd smell something burning, and it just wasn't really good. So what I found was your power supply had actually failed on the 5-volt line. I mean, it was actually the power supply. You had basically a bad solder connection at the connector, and it had been evidently bad for a long time, and it caused overheating inside the actual supply and caused some other issues with the supply. So I resoldered all the connections, cleaned up everything, and then you also had some TVS diodes that were failing, which was some of the smell as well. So I replaced your TVS diodes, got those replaced, and I went on basically just rebuilt your control board here in that process. I put new LEDs and all that good stuff, fixed the logic issues you had, and got all that fixed right. And then also once I got all your power stuff working, then I noticed you had some other issues, which was all in your programming. Your programming was very sick on this one, and what it was is, for anybody that's interested, is that basically for each of the presets you have what they call bus lines, which represent each preset, and in those bus lines you have a buffering op amp for each preset. So each time you hit a preset, the signal comes on and it feeds this op amp and allows it to come on and feed out 10 volts to each of the preset rails as you engage each preset. So it'll actually only send 1 voltage per line depending on what preset you have engaged. Well, in your case, what you had is you had op amps. You had one op amp that was stuck high, so no matter what the non-inverted leg voltage was, it was always putting out 10 volts. So it was actually driving the 10 volt line, which actually goes through resistor networks, which makes your control voltages, is how that works. And your control voltage line was stuck on for preset 7. So no matter what preset I would go into, you always had a logic high inside that bus line. And so your presets were really jacked up, because no matter what preset you go to, you'd always hear parts of preset 7, which whether it be a locked oscillator, the two oscillators locked together in the phase lock loop, which is for what some presets do. You had some issues like that. And then you had some op amps that actually wasn't doing anything, so your buffering was not even working. And I would actually watch the signals change on the non-inverted line, and then the op amp wouldn't be doing anything on the output. And your non-inverted line was correct as well. So bad op amps, replaced the op amps, fixed all the buffering issues, and then got all that working. And then you had some other issues that showed up. You had an issue on your actual center board, which is under here, and it was a bad 4051 multiplexer chip, which is actually what switches to fixed filters depending on what preset. So it had fried, and it would work for some presets, and some presets it was dead. And so I replaced that, and then also you have like a little small VCL up here. It's a Moog ladder filter, but it's not quite the same design as what the typical Moog ladder is. But anyways, it was dead, and I found out that it was a bad 3046. You had a bad 3046 transistor array IC. So part of the filter legs was just dead. It was getting audio, but it wasn't actually, the filter wasn't driving right. So replaced that and got all that fixed, and I just went through and recapped all your boards with new tension caps, and took care of any problems I saw. And luckily, this being a later model serial number, there wasn't many updates that had to be done to it, which was great. So most of everything, your thermal compensation and everything like that was already updated. So really, really good stuff. But now I'll just give you a quick sound here. I'm actually got it hooked to the direct output, which direct output on these is actually straight from the mixing circuit from your poly cards. So you're not actually passing through any of the fixed filters. This is just direct sound, how you hear it without going through filters. And this is typically how Gary Newman would use it, and a lot of people, because the filters really add a lot to some presets, but it also takes away some of the volume as well. But I'll just show you here how this sounds. So here's Vox Humana. I'm doing this one-handed, so I apologize for my playing, but you can hear the nice low end. But also your dynamics work, so I have to do a little contact adjustment there. That's just a contact issue. As you can hear, all that's working. And then basically your variation mode works for your modulation. Of course, you can speed up, control the amount, control the rate. As you can hear, you can also control your attack, so you can make a really slow attack, or you can make it really fast. I like to use, on my Polymoog, I used to actually speed it up just a little bit and control the amount, just put a little bit of amount in there. You turn it completely off and you just have like a piano. Something like that. But that's preset 1. Preset 2 works. Strings 2. Something like that. That's a Gary Newman sound as well. I forget how it goes. We Have Technicals, the name of the song, but piano. I'm going to have to fix that one key there for you. I just noticed that's not working right. But I know what it is. It's just a contact issue. I got to realign the contact. Could be a poly card, but I doubt it. That's 5, 6. It's just a honky-tonk piano. 7. Something like that. 8, hops chord. Brass, 9. 10 is chorus. Pipe organ. It's a good sound there. Pipe organ. And then you got vibes. Probably the simplest preset on the whole thing. It's 1 oscillator, square wave. Funk. That's a good sound too. But anyways, as you can hear, everything's working except for that one note, which I'll fix that for you. I know exactly what's going on there. And then also we got the main output, which I'll show you now. It's going to be a little pop. So main output, and this is actually where the sounds are going through fixed filters inside this middle board. And you have to control the volume for it by this little volume slider because it's got its own mixing circuit in there, or summing circuit if you want to call it that. So anyways, we'll bring this up. My little amp, I apologize, I'm using my little test amp up there, and it's not really the best for testing things as far as actual tone structures and things. So you can hear this is Vox Humana to the fixed filters, and this is where I was talking about you lose a little volume when you as you can hear. That's Vox Humana. You got strings. So we're going to turn that up a little bit more there. That's strings 2, or strings 1, strings 2. Electric piano. Now this is where those little fixed filters actually work very well on some presets, because you'll notice this sounds more like electric piano than it did through the direct out. It's kind of got that Rhodes kind of, you know, it's for its time period it was pretty good. This is piano here. Similar to the electric piano. A little more fuzzy. Then you got honky tonk. Something like that. Clavichord. You got preset 8, which is harpsichord. Preset 9, which uses the Moog, or the ladder filter in this case. You can hear just like a little wah effect. Then you got preset 10, which is a better example of brass, because this actually has a pulse width modulation, which I actually always like this preset. Now with the poly pedal, you're able to actually shape that filter using a control voltage input line for the filter. You got pipe organ, you got rock organ, you got vibes, and you got funk. And that's all through the fixed filters. And also, something I should bring up too is you got this bass section, which basically works with a low octave, and it works with the main output, but you also got a dedicated bass output as well. And what that basically does, it just allows you to change the frequency response at the low end. Of course, this little amp really struggles, but I can control the frequency as well as the amount. Which will bring the level down. I'm distorting my amp. Yeah, the little amp doesn't like that at all. But it works with any preset. Of course, it's really distorting my little amp, but all that's working correctly. Of course, you can hear the difference when I got it off to when I got it on. Hear a difference. It actually just redirects the audio path to this filter. But anyways, that's your Polymoog, Jeff. And like I said, I'll fix this one note. I know exactly what's going on there. No big deal. It might even just be need a little adjustment, and I'll just adjust that for you, and it'll be fine. But anyways, that's your Polymoog, Jeff. And as soon as I get that one little last thing fixed, it's ready to go. I've gave it 9 hours burn in. All the circuitry passed everything. You got new divider chips on some of the areas. That's something I forgot to mention that you had problems with too, was you had some dead dividers, which was affecting some of your notes not to work. And for anybody that's looking for dividers for these things, I highly recommend Flatkeys. It's a company, and the guys make them for years now. And I've been buying them since I started on Polymoogs. And I've been using my Polymoog at the house for the last 4 years or 5 years on my 280a with these things in it, and I have not had any of those fail. Very, very reliable chips. And so for anybody looking for divider chips, I highly recommend these, because you're going to pay high price for original MM5823Ns, which is what the part number is. And these work just as good, and they sound great, you know. And I don't think there's any other route to go except for Flatkeys. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And Jeff, here's your Polymoog, and I'll get it out to you soon. Take care.